Testing 1 2 3. Hello, my fellow Conestoga students. I'm Brian Johnson. Hello, future me, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Toronto Maple Leafs for my topic. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about the loyal Leaf fans, not the bandwagon or the haters or anything. I'm just the loyal Leaf fans and how we need to start taking a stand with this team. All right, things started off good with the season. We were in a good position, and now we're in the middle of a losing skid, and we might not even make the playoffs. But that's beside the point. What I'm going to be talking about is how we need to take matters into our own hands and get the team to acknowledge these certain problems that need to be fixed immediately. And I'm going to be talking about leadership, uh, the coaching, like the use of money, and obvious one, defense. Now, to start off, I'm going to be talking about leadership. Like our captain, Dion Phaneuf. I didn't like it when he became our captain. I thought it was a bad mistake. I don't know what they were thinking. I guess he was the only option for whatever reason. But he's not the guy. Alright, Leafs history, you got many captains. You got Sundin, that was a captain from my young childhood days. Then you got way back, you got Doug Gilmour, and even further back, you got Daryl Sittler. Those were captains for the Leafs. In today's NHL, captains that come to mind are Zdeno Chara, the Boston Bruins, the goon of all goons. That's like intimidating, saying, "I put you in bear hug and I wrestle in old country." This guy gets charged on Coca-Cola for energy, so that's pretty impressive. Then you got Jonathan Toews, Captain Serious of the Chicago Blackhawks. Like there was a video where he fully body checked a young little kid, a fan of his, and that's pretty cool because yeah, that sucks for the kid, but he's got 2 Stanley Cup rings and it's Jonathan Toews. And then you got Sidney Crosby, who's in my opinion, is a bit of a sicko and a whiner, but so was Gretzky, and Gretzky became known as the Great One, and Crosby in today's NHL is considered the best player in the world. So those are the kind of captains that you want, the leaders that you want as captains. And I just don't see that from Dion. All right, he's been sure he comes from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's been hated his whole time being here, being called the Princess, the Pylon. I call him Triple P, Princess Pylon Fun. All right, because he just takes his time, have a little whack it with his stick and all that. Come on, that's not a leader. And when he coughs up or makes the mistakes, he doesn't talk to the media, and he's always coming up with excuses. And you can't, you're not gonna win. In my opinion, we're not gonna win anything with him as captain, to be quite honest. You want a guy that can get you, pull the team together, calm them down in crucial situations, which he didn't do during last year's collapse in the playoffs last year, and to get that extra overtime goal, and he cost us in one of those games, and yeah, that was a rough series. It still stings a bit, but moving on. I think possible candidates for captain should be Joffrey Lupul, but his problem is to stay healthy. Kessel could be another one, but he's an introvert. Nothing wrong with introvert. I am myself and proud of being one. And just let him focus scoring on goals. One that comes to mind for the Leafs is that would be a good captain is James Van Riemsdyk. All right, he's got size. He's a consistent player all year. All right, he's back checks. He gets those big time goals, and he does all this fancy stuff with his stick. And if he was captain, and this is just a thought, if he was captain, he's American. Put it together, you got Captain America. Quote me on that nickname if it ever becomes true. Now the next order of business would be coaching. Randy Carl. His style of coaching is old school. And buddy, like, come on, man. These aren't like the 70s. Like, your style is just old school, like, to be quite honest. Like, and but honestly, like, stop trying to make this team into a rough and tumble team, like a fisticuff team. Like, they're not that team. They're fancy. They're skilled players. Like, so play them that way. Don't put like these goons that like don't do anything. Like, put players that can actually make a difference. And like his treatment of players, like Clark MacArthur, like like he's having a great season in Ottawa. Grabowski like was playing on the fourth line last year, and like he's doing pretty well in Washington, despite a team that has no defense. And James Reimer, like that's Carlisle's fault, and Dave Nonis is the GM's problem as well, because like he has one bad game. We had a perfect 1-2 tandem. All right, Reimer basically got us to the playoffs, got us to Game 7 last year. It wasn't his fault. The collapse, mainly, it wasn't his fault. It was the people in front of him. And it was your fault, and it was Carlisle's fault for not calling a timeout, and it was his fault for like not like for telling his team to back off. That lacks, and that sucks at defense. All right, they were taking it to the Boston Bruins, so keep the power, keep pushing it at them. All right, if you're gonna poke the bear, keep poking him. Don't just lay back, or you're gonna get eaten alive by the bear. And as it turned out, they did. And the next order of business is the use of money. All right, the Leafs are known for giving away great prospects, great talented players, and signing these players for big money and little return. All right, like we got rid of Alex Steen is one that comes to mind. Like he's having a 30 goal season, like a 60-point year so far in St. Louis. That was a big mistake. I didn't like it when they got rid of him. What were they thinking? I don't know. And then like David Clarkson, man, signing him for a 5 million, 7 year, $36 million deal, and he's produced 10 points. There's been like four other players that have done that, and they played in like less than 30 games, and he's played in like 60 games. Like that's pretty sad, man. And, like use your money wisely. All right, that money could have been spent to getting good time players, not something that's like just gonna be put on waivers and to just eat up cat money. Like, you gotta be sensible with your money, to be quite honest. And last order of business is defense. All right, the Leafs seriously need defense. All right, if you're, like it looks like we're stuck with Dion for like the next 6 or so years. So why not make it him a worthwhile player by getting him guys around him? All right, I think we should we need. All right, I think we're pretty good on the offense. I wouldn't mind getting that beautiful, dreamy #1 center, but like that's not really a big thing to concern. What we need to work on is getting like those like 2 or 3 veteran defenses that are not too old, not too young, but just like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, just right. All right, that's what we need to get, and then we'll be a much better team. Like that's what we need to be like a better team. Like if you want, because like who doesn't like a winner? All right, all right. Like I don't understand why like this organization, like sure you're selling all these seats for a so-called losing team, even if they don't like make the playoffs, and like the Maple laughs and all that. And I hate that stuff, but anyways, it's the media. What are you gonna do? And all that stuff. But like look at these like certain teams like in all sports. New England Patriots. They're a winning team. The New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, those are all winning teams, and like you got a whole bunch of fans and wannabe fans and all that, but that sells money, sells products, sells your inventory. So here's an idea. If the Leafs like are losing, and you still make this money even though they're losing. Imagine what would happen if you actually took the time to make a contender, make a winning team. Imagine, like, isn't it logical that your sales would rise? Like, come on, like, think, people. So, like, who doesn't like a winner? Like, even airheads like a winner, and to be quite honest, like, and they're airheads. So, uh, yeah, that's in my opinion. Like, I think, in my opinion, the Leafs can beat anyone in the league. All right, we just gotta want it. All right, we need to get a new captain. All right, we need to get a couple good veteran defensemen that are still in their prime to help out on the back end. We need to get structure in our defense, in our game. We need to start a game. We need to, like, the coach needs to lighten up on his players and be a better people person, put his team before himself, and just be better money management. That's basically it. And I find that if we accomplish these things in a matter of years, like, we could actually be a real contender and, like, go for Lord Stanley and raise the cup like every Maple Leaf fan dreams of. Like, yeah, that's what we need to do. So thank you, and go Leafs go.